Hey, it's Marcel here from Parakeeto, and in this video I'm going to walk you through how to go through the project performance meeting with your team and ultimately use it to extract the key opportunities in your agency to improve efficiency. The purpose of this meeting is ultimately to identify the gaps between our assumptions and reality when it comes to our projects, review that information, and then put it in front of our team to get an understanding of why things are going better or worse than planned, and seeing if there's any things there that are patterns or that are opportunities for us to create processes around. There are a couple of really important things to remember about running this framework. The first is let the team surface ideas and insights. So you might be going into this meeting with preconceived notions about what's going wrong or what the opportunities are, and you want to try and abstain from being forward with those ideas and really encourage your team to surface those ideas unless they're feeling really stuck. And then we want to ask them if they're open to some suggestions, input, so on, and then maybe surface these ideas. But as much as possible, we want these ideas and insights to come from the team, because that's what creates the buy-in to actually have them get involved in developing the process and maintain them. It's super, super key. The next is we want to focus on both good and bad. We don't want this meeting to turn into just a place where we kind of talk about all the things that are going poorly. So make sure that you take some time in all of these meetings to celebrate wins, highlight things that are going well, and try to replicate things that are going well. I mean, it makes sense that if you're like, hey, these projects are way better than the other ones, what are we doing differently here? There might be an opportunity there to replicate something that happened in the delivery of that project, or in the way that that client was, or in the way we interacted with that client, to make other projects look similar in terms of performance. And then finally, run this meeting on a regular cadence. Get this in your calendar every 2 weeks, every month, every quarter, however often you can manage to do it, and you have enough new information to review. But protect this time. If you don't, and if these meetings constantly get bumped for client meetings and you don't protect the time for them, then you're sending the message to the team that their insight and their input is not important. It is not the message that we want to send to the team. So with that, let's talk about where you are in your journey through the agency profitability flywheel. This process is something that you're going to do after you've standardized your estimation process, after you've implemented the right time and cost tracking mechanisms. And if you haven't checked out our resources or watched our videos on how to install those two processes, you definitely want to go and start there. So make sure you check out the rest of the toolkit and check those out. But this is where we are now. Once you've started to gather this data, now we want to review it with our team. And that's kind of what we're talking about here. And of course, if we do all these things well, we're going to be profitable and have more predictability in our business. So here's the high level agenda. We start by reviewing the report. So we pull up the project performance report and we look at the projects and we basically ask the team, what stands out to you here, right? And we just start discussing, like, why are these outliers the way that they are? And as we have that open discussion with the team, we start to surface, what are the big opportunities here? What are the things that we want to replicate or that we want to avoid repeating? And we start to take some notes on some of the things that are surfacing from the team. And then we kind of summarize that discussion in the last column and say, what are the things that, we've discussed here that we want to carry forward into our backlog and create as an item to potentially implement a process around. And those ideas and opportunities are going to go into essentially a list that is going to get prioritized by the team, and then is going to, move forward into process improvements, new documentation, new processes, and so on. We're actually going to implement changes in the business based on this feedback. But that's really the high level agenda. It's very, very simple. So the way that you might run this meeting is you start and you say, hey, here's our projects. Our advanced refrigeration website design phase was way under budget. We were super efficient on that. Guys, what happened? What did we do differently with advanced refrigeration that made us so efficient? I mean, the work looks great and we're super under budget. So what happened there? And, we might surface there that, with advanced refrigeration, we had a really great onboarding with the client. They gave us everything that we needed to get started. We didn't have to go back to them. They were quick to turn around revisions, and that went really, really smoothly. Conversely, the project we're doing for Scott's Tots, we didn't have nearly enough information when we kicked off with the client. We had to go back. They didn't really understand what the revision process looked like, so we had a lot of revisions, and that project has been going in the opposite direction. It's been going really, really poorly. So insights out of that might be, hey, we need to maybe standardize our client onboarding a little bit, maybe get an intake information collection checklist together so that we can make sure we always get the information that we need. Maybe we need to do a better job of explaining to clients what our process is for revisions, maybe limiting the number of revisions that they have. And then we kind of start to summarize those into ideas. So one idea for a process improvement is let's create an onboarding and intake checklist for new clients. Let's maybe review and improve how we document revisions in our SOW and when we kick off with the client. And maybe let's create a document that we send to the client to sign every time they make a revision, so we can remind them that they're using one of their revisions and that they have a limited number of them. All right, so this would be an example of how a meeting like this might go. So use this template, print it out, draw on it, or, put it up, if it's COVID times right now as I record this, so put it up on your Zoom meeting and take notes on top of it, whatever you need to do. But that's kind of an idea of how this meeting might go. And in the next video, we're going to talk through how we take these ideas and then actually go about prioritizing them and implementing them in your business, and making sure that we're always investing in the ideas that are going to have the highest return in our business. And of course, if you haven't checked out our tool, Parakeeto, feel free to go and check it out and start your free trial. You will not be disappointed. If you found this stuff useful so far, you will love what we have for you with Parakeeto. It helps you create data-driven, accurate estimates in seconds. You can use your previous projects as guides for your new ones, get real-time feedback on the projected profitability of your projects, and so much more. So do yourself a favor and go sign up for a free trial. There's no credit card required. You can give it a shot. And with that, thank you for being a part of the Toolkit. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video, and I hope you enjoyed this resource. Cheers.